Are you still recording?
This time on this time. God damn
I should
it.
keep that in.
This time on Whatever We Want, we talk about WandaVision.
WandaVision! Episode 3, baby. Spoilers ahead. There are time codes in the description if you want to jump ahead. We have a very special guest, which we'll talk about in a minute. So let's just jump right in. Enjoy the show. PreBanter.
There you go.
Daniel, PreBanter peanut butter. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing good. I'm very hydrated. I'm drinking out of one of our mugs, and I am very liquid.
Our mugs. Nice. I was happy you're using our mugs. Those are, if anyone wants like a mug, like they're still for sale, just like reach out to me on Instagram or whatever. Yeah. We have a very special episode today. We've got a very special guest. We've got Sam Davey. He did say, you'll hear in a couple seconds, that I could use his last name. You know, I always like to ask. But yeah, we're talking about WandaVision Season 3. It's going to be great. Are you ready for
Season 3?
It's episode 3. Are you ready for the intro?
Yes. Dude, hit me with the intro.
You may want us to talk about this or that, but we don't care. We're going to talk about whatever we want.
Apparently, it's season 3.
Welcome back to Whatever We Want, the podcast where we, Jake and Daniel, two devil's handsome gentlemen, sometimes special guests like Sam, talk about movies, TV shows, sometimes like WandaVision, giving behind-the-scenes insights, trivia, theorizing, predictions, all the jazz.
Season 3.
It's not season 3, it's episode 3.
Just picking at you.
Oh my gosh. All right, we have a good episode for you today. Let's just jump into it.
Yeehaw.
Cut to the interview. Baboosh. All right, so today we are joined by a very, very special guest, Daniel. It is Mr. Sam. Sam, do you want to give your last name?
Yes, my last name is Davey. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So Sam here is a friend from my film classes and some other art classes. So he knows his stuff. So he's gonna hopefully have some really good insights. No pressure there, Sam. Just dropping this on you.
Not at all.
Sam, we need you to know everything. You are our Bible, and we're going to go to you religiously, okay?
Yeah.
Does that mean I can take advantage of my theological position?
Exactly. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, the power. The power.
Oh no, it's corrupting already.
Also, just fair warning, I have no idea how the audio quality is going to turn out. We're doing the best we can over here, but we're trying to like a new setup, so apologies if that's a little wonky, but you know, you'll hopefully get the idea of everything. Yeah. All right, let's jump into WandaVision episode 3. I personally did not know that they were episode titles until I went back and like looked at them. I don't think there were episode titles at first until I looked at it this time. And this episode was called Now in Color, which like makes sense because like
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, because they're in color.
it was in color.
Yeah, dude, it was freaking crazy.
I remember there being episode titles when I watched the first two, or maybe I just imagined that once the third one came out.
There were this time.
What were the titles of the ones before then?
The first one I think was like, I remember the second one was Don't Turn That Dial.
Yeah.
And then the first one, filmed before a live studio audience.
And it actually was filmed before a live studio audience, which is like really cool.
Wait, it was?
Just like trying to keep with the with the 50s and everything. But it wasn't like a random studio audience. It was Marvel close family and friends, so that like they didn't get the secrets out or anything.
Darn it.
Okay, yeah. That's cool though. I didn't know they actually did that. I was gonna mention at some point that the amount that the show goes to just recreate what studio sitcoms were like in terms of like lighting and a lot of the camera
angles. Yeah,
camera angles. I watched your guys' first episode, talking about the first two episodes, just so I didn't repeat any stuff. But I know you guys talked about like the effects and everything. And I just love how this show really just makes it fit whatever time period it's working with.
Yeah,
agreed.
And you can repeat. We repeat a lot, so it's fine. Okay. We'll probably repeat a lot this time.
But that's one thing I actually really liked about this episode, because there's a lot of times where you saw a lot of the cinematography that was again shown like for that era, but it really started breaking down the further and further things got more complicated in this episode, because a lot kind of happened.
Yeah, like, and they would push in a lot.
Yeah.
I
mean, just even changing it up. I mean, like you talked about in the last episode how they changed it up with that one shot at dinner where you got that shot of Vision where they're showing behind him.
See, we're repeating things already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Okay, no, I was just gonna say that on that note, there is one thing I really like about this show. It's probably my favorite thing so far is how like the it's really playing with the audience with like, oh, okay,
yes,
you know an important or like a more dramatic moment is going to come, but we're going to play with you a little bit and then like sort of tease it and then actually happens. One of the things I actually really liked about episode 3 was they have this one moment where it's almost uses the laugh track as like as a horror cue to some extent, or that's what it's framed as. Like she's looking in the nursery and then she's like, "Huh, what is that?" And then it's almost framed as like, "Oh my gosh, there's something scary in there." And it uses the laugh track as a way to like track that tension. I think that's awesome.
That is so cool. Like, I think a lot of people looking in that don't know all this, like the film stuff that we like to analyze, probably are just like, oh, it's just like easy. They're making an old TV show. Like, it's not as great quality. And in some aspects, it probably is, like, not a ton of sets and stuff like that. But in those aspects, like, you have to like understand how film worked in the history of film to be able to like recreate that, and then use those tropes to use the tropes that we know to like throw the audience off, kind of thing, which is like what you're saying, which is, I think that's incredible.
The creators know that the audience will be looking for those intense moments, like we saw with the dinner scene in the first episode, like we saw with like the blood in the radio in the second episode.
Yeah.
And so they know people are looking for that, so they're like teasing it almost and messing with you throughout the episode. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. What do you guys think? So towards the beginning of the episode here, we get to the part where like Herb, his neighbor, kind of like glitches and it just like cuts into the wall. Like, what do you think happened there?
I think with all the thing that's going on with like the reality changing stuff, I mean, reality itself is having a hard time keeping up. Right?
Yeah.
And we see later on that apparently these characters also know what is going on, but it's also like they're playing a role. So
yeah,
there's that weird duality there with that, where they're kind of like going like, oh, I'm in this role, but am I supposed to be in this role? I don't know.
I think Geraldine really provides a lot of clues to something, to like what's happening. I don't want to like jump ahead, but I do want to jump ahead because I just want to talk about her. But Geraldine, so like I think like her pendant is like a S.W.O.R.D logo, and so like S.W.O.R.D, as we like kind of have theorized, is like trying to break into this bubble. And we find out it is actually like a huge bubble that they're trapped in. Mm-hmm. And so Geraldine is like she's like playing a part. I think she was trying to go in there. Did we say last time that she was like confirmed to be in like Captain Marvel 2? She's like the daughter of that girl.
Yeah, it's Monica.
Yeah, so she is like a superhero like in the comics and is probably about to become a superhero and stuff. Also, spoilers. I think we said that. We'll say that in the intro.
Yeah,
but, yeah,
or the thumbnail or whatever. I mean, I think it's implied.
Yeah, but basically, I think Geraldine is in there to try to figure out what's going on and get Wanda out. But I think she's kind of getting swept up in everything and like forgetting what happened until Wanda said Pietro, and I think she like snapped out of it.
Yeah. Same.
And then she realized like, oh shoot, she's onto me, so she tried to fall back into the role, but it was too late and she got pushed out.
Dude, she didn't just get pushed out, she got yeeted out. Wanda ejected her. Like,
oh my gosh. Yeah, just full on eject button. No, but you see, I agree with both of you guys, because that's where I'm torn on these like almost NPC like characters, where they're just so they seem like they know what's going on. You had like
Agnes.
Oh gosh, Agnes, and I think he was and the guy who was like taking the weed clipper through the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, no, we don't talk about that. So you think, oh, so they know what's going on. They just can't talk about it. But then they have those moments like the guy cutting through the wall where it's like, but then are they like projections? Is Wanda making them? Or like, are they actual people?
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
I feel like it's also unique to see how Vision then is fitting into his role, right? Because
he's definitely a projection. He's not real because he's dead, obviously.
Yeah, he's not real, but at the same time, he's more conscious about his situation, right? Like he's able to realize and figure out like, hey, something's not right here. To the point to where he's like, Wanda, we need to figure this out, to where she has to like reset him.
Uno reverse.
Yeah.
That's what makes me think that maybe he's not, because like in the one moment where he starts having like some clarity about their situation, Wanda just resets.
Yeah.
Which makes me think like maybe she is controlling all these people.
It could just be another reality version of him.
Yeah.
Like he could have been like brought in from like another universe or something like that, or like he's like existing in another pocket reality, and then she brought him in. I don't know, but
we also don't know like the extent of her powers, and they're obviously growing. Like maybe he started out as like a projection or something, but because she was projecting the Mind Stone, she's so closely connected to that. Maybe it like became its own thing, or like is growing to become something different. I don't know. That's really
Mind Stone 2.0
out there,
like an amalgamation of her desire or whatever.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from this episode at the end there, when Geraldine is thrust out of the bubble, the world, is that her 70s clothes remain. So that means that the things Wanda is creating in this world can be brought to the real world, which I think is huge for our theory that we thought of last time.
Okay, yeah.
Where Vision, she's going to try to take Vision and her kids out of this bubble, and I think that amount of like force will tear a hole into the multiverse and set off Phase 4 and all the other projects and stuff.
Dude, I'm so excited.
That is true.
Yeah.
I already know they're going for the multiverse for Marvel.
Yeah.
Because like all that stuff's been announced, Tobey Maguire
and the casting stuff, yeah.
Andrew Garfield and all that stuff. But I'm so excited. Like I love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I've always loved when Spider-Man like teamed up, and now they've got talking about like Charlie Cox in the MCU with Daredevil.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be great.
Oh, it's gonna be so cool! I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But the thing with Geraldine, sorry, just to bring it back to the show.
Yep.
I think she's really interesting because obviously she's not playing into, at least not entirely, this whole facade. Maybe there are some moments where you think, oh, maybe the whatever Wanda's doing is like taking her over. But at the same time, I feel like she's almost like an infiltrant. She was like sent into that reality, either to wake Wanda up or like start transitioning into it. Because it's only until after Wanda started talking about Pietro that she's just like, do you remember Ultron? Do you remember he was killed by Ultron? Do you remember that? And it's like, oh, she's like goading her into remembering all the Avengers stuff.
And she overstepped a little bit.
Yeah. She's like trying to transition her into it, which is, I think, supports the theory that this is all Wanda's doing and that she's like diluting her own mind to save herself from pain of Vision's death.
Right. There is another hint, though, that like the devil could be at play, like Mephisto, like you talked about last time, Daniel. Like,
yes.
When Agnes is there talking by the fence, she's like, "Oh, Ralph, like he does better in the dark." Like that's obviously could be something related to like the devil.
Dude, I'm telling you, Ralph is Mephisto. It has to be.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, but that's hilarious.
I saw a theory where Agnes was Mephisto, but I don't know. I honestly think he could be. Like, there's a lot of things if you look back and watch him. Like, yeah, like all those things she says about Ralph. Like, yeah.
Oh my god, I would absolutely love it if every passive aggressive my husband sucks type of comment that comes from Agnes is actually just like an inside like little wink. It's like, oh, it's Mephisto. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Hilarious at the same time. Oh my god.
My biggest takeaway, speaking of like husband wives here, my biggest takeaway is that from this episode is that Phil, the guy with like the mustache, he married Donnie, like the trophy wife lady from last episode. I thought that was really funny. Like, good for you, Phil, man. Like,
you know what? It may be cheesy. A lot of the writing that like is supposed to make the sitcoms come alive, it may be cheesy, but I legitimately like that kind of humor. I'm actually like sometimes laugh at the dumb jokes that they write for this.
I love when the water broke and like that was really funny.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Also, like when the power went out with Phil.
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
Oh, thank God.
It's that classic, oh no, my wife asked me a fat question. And he's just like, oh, thank God. But it's kind of well written.
Yeah, it's pretty good writing in this show and everything. Can we talk about their kids a little bit? The kids like they have.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Oh, Tommy and Billy. Yeah, Tommy and Billy.
Yeah. Daniel, do you know much about them? I did a bit of research, but I know you know some stuff about this.
I know that it's not like confirmed, but it's kind of confirmed that these are going to be like, weren't they like new Avengers later on? Wiccan.
Yeah, the Young Avengers.
And
Speed.
Wiccan,
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I don't really know that much about the new Avengers.
Wiccan pretty much has Scarlet Witch's powers with like magic and like weird as what's her face Colby Smulders described.
Magic baby.
That was such a weird description in that movie, but anyway.
Yeah, and then Speed is like fast, obviously.
Yeah.
It'd be ironic if Speed was slow. But yeah, so I think that's probably where they're gonna go, and if they do bring them out of this like dimension, this could set up like way down the road like Young Avengers. I wonder if they're gonna age fast because they like were birthed fast.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And like we are shooting through the decades, so
they're gonna be like the clones from Star Wars.
Yeah. Accelerated aging process. But the interesting thing about like the fast-paced, I don't know, gestation, I don't know what else to call it. It's like I didn't even think about it until you talked about like it being part of the actual plot, like if they're going to age fast or not. I just saw it as another like, oh, this is what an episode of a 70s sitcom with a witch and a robot would look like.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, they're weird, so naturally their pregnancy would be accelerated from 9 months to like a day. And which is another thing that I have to real quick just praise the show on is it's surprisingly accurate to like what a show like this would look like at the time.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of show that like would be popular at the time. Like if you think about weird shows in the 70s and 80s, there's like Mork and Mindy and like
Brady Bunch and stuff.
Yeah, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Mm-hmm. It was like people really liked the idea of like a supernatural family, for lack of a better term. So this fits right in.
In that you said the witch and the robot or whatever you said, and that reminded me when they like go back to back when like the kitchen's going all haywire and like pose almost like really weirdly. That's like the exact pose from the Scarlet Witch Vision #1 comic book.
Oh shit, I didn't know about that.
So that's kind of why they did that. I was like, that looks kind of weird.
That's really cool. Well, I just thought like, that's what Wanda looks like when she's using her powers. I guess I didn't really notice Vision's pose, but
yeah. that's their kind of their pose, like
cool.
back to back, arms up. So nod to that.
I suppose go back to the original question, which I took us on a huge segue. But like, are they going to age faster? Like, what are the twins going to end up doing for the show if they are going to play like any role as individuals and not just like, oh no, the baby type stuff?
Yeah, in the like trailers and stuff, it looks like they are. In the 80s, they are just kind of babies, but I don't know if that's just like the beginning of the episode. Like maybe in the 90s they'll.
I think they might. Here's what I think they might grow up because like why would Vision go out trick or treating as himself?
Yeah, that's right. The Halloween, which I'm assuming is the 90s episode.
Oh, that's smart.
I think he's going to be going out and looking for him because maybe they got lost or something, or maybe he's trick or treating with them. I don't know, but I feel like that's going to be an opening to where like because there's this theory where the kids get taken.
Yeah,
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, this is gonna be taking 5 new blood.
Paul, can you imagine Paul Bettany doing the Liam Neeson like monologue on the phone? I honestly can't, but you know what? Maybe he'll add it.
I will find you.
He's been surprising me this show.
Yeah,
he does like his drunk impersonation of himself. It's like drunk Vision.
Oh my gosh, I know you guys already talked about it, but that's gonna go back to like just the accuracy of like, or not accuracy, but like it fits where like he swallows a piece of gum and then he's a robot, he must get gummed up.
Yeah,
it's so dumb but so perfect, I think. And
yeah, reminds me of Spaceballs where like they use jam. What kind of jam?
I love Spaceballs. We should talk about that one episode.
Person would dare give me strawberry jam. No, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
So Jake, what I was pretty much saying was,
yep.
So they go trick or treating, right? So I think they're gonna be a little bit older. I'm not sure how much older, but definitely older. And I think it's here that they get taken, right? So Vision is then out looking for him.
Yeah, there's that like shot of him like becoming Halloween Vision too. I wonder what they think he's dressing up as, because he's dressing up as like himself.
Oh, I'm a robot.
Superhero? I don't know. Like just a generic superhero. I mean, because he's wearing a cape and everything, and then like a hood on. So I would think he's just gonna say, "Oh, I'm a robot superhero" or something like that. Like, what is Wanda supposed to be in that case in her original Scarlet Witch outfit?
I wonder if in this like crazy like Wanda universe, there's another Marvel like comics that is like producing the same Marvel comics, and they just happen to look exactly like them.
Oh god,
that's too meta.
Well, we know that from Endgame, there's Thor playing Fortnite, right? Which I know this is a terrible reference, but
Fortnite did have a Marvel deal.
Exactly, and now they're bringing in like all the mutants and crap, So it's like, are they not? What's going on here?
We're gonna talk about like the meta humor that they use in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, then we're gonna be here all day because they talk about Hot Tub Time Machine, and Sebastian Stan is actually in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh yeah, Sebastian Stan's in that. They talk about Star Wars and Winter Soldier, and Samuel L. Jackson's in that.
Yeah, they talked about The Big Lebowski, and Jeff Bridges was in the first Iron Man. So it's a slippery slope.
All right, let's back to the tank then. Let's talk about the commercial break that comes up when they're the Hydra Soak.
Oh, dude, the Hydra Soap. Oh, that was so funny.
Which is an Agents of S.W.O.R.D. reference.
Yeah, I was going to say, they actually did talk about before. Coulson was talking about how the soap actually like made you forget your memories. And, like,
oh my god.
It was so funny.
I watched all of Agents of S.W.O.R.D., but I completely forgot about that. That's something that was just buried in the cavities of the back of my head.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. I did not realize that reference.
Yeah, because didn't Coulson say they like loaded the soap with like chemicals and it altered people's memories and stuff like that?
And he's like, I make my own soap now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like a little hint at like brainwashing or something.
Because it's soap.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
I mean, yeah.
Wow, that went over my head. Sorry.
I mean,
anyways.
Like both in a joke and in like actual.
Yeah.
I don't know, theory of the show.
That was a smart joke. I apprecited that.
It's not even it's Marvel's joke. I just realized it. Oh.
And yeah, I think that was the original joke from Agents of S.W.O.R.D. Sorry, Jake. Go ahead.
the what's it called? The commercial itself. The whole thing is like it's like escape to a new reality, which is like the premise of the show.
Oh yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. We also get to the Stork here, who I think is the most powerful MCU villain because it just resists all of Wanda's powers.
Oh man, just like even where Thanos could not compete with Wanda's powers. You got the Stork, the CGI Stork.
Yeah.
Who apparently has comedic timing because he lines up with the painting of the Stork without moving for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Now hear me out, guys. The Stork is Mephisto.
Oh shit!
Oh my gosh!
He's tempering with the baby.
That's not out of the realm of possibility, though. That's not.
Yeah, with this show, I wouldn't put it past it.
Yeah, honestly.
That could very much be a next plot point.
Yeah.
It's like episode 9. You remember that stork from like 3 episodes ago, Wanda? Well, it was me.
It's me, Ralph, Agnes's husband.
So wait, Agnes is married to a stork? Wait.
Oh, no, she's married to a shapeshifter.
Oh, okay. I like the theory Agnes is married to a stork.
And
that's why she's always like doing passive aggressive comments. So because she's pissed that she's like married to a stork.
I mean, maybe this is the case. I'd have to go back through Agnes's comments, but I would love it if it was written so that it was all like a double entendre.
It like makes sense
to be a stork.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's always flying
always
off.
putting his feet up, and they're just so big.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, something I wanted to talk about, Daniel. I saw, this isn't, I mean, it's WandaVision related, but not exactly WandaVision. So we talked about Wanda's accent, how like
it's gone.
Slowly goes from Sokovian to American.
Yeah.
I think that's actually deliberate, according to like some random Marvel thing I saw. I don't know if it's actually true, but like apparently like she worked with Black Widow to conceal her accent so that she wasn't giving it away that she was Sokovian. I kind of like that explanation, actually, that like she's working actively to like, I don't know, not have that Sokovian accent.
I think it's twofold. Because
yes, Wanda's accent, sorry. It like slowly goes from Sokovian to like American over like 2 films.
Okay, yeah, I thought you guys were talking about the show. It's like, does she have a Sokovian accent in the show?
No.
I was like, wait, what transition are you guys talking about? I did not realize you were talking about like the multiple films where she fades out.
Yeah.
I think it is twofold, where she's started off, like you said, like with Black Widow, she started as training, but now when it comes like this with the show and like how she's altering reality, I think it's like making her fall into her role mentally to where she's like, I'm, a normal American person living an American life, So it's like, it's the way she speaks is like kind of enforcing that to a degree.
She's an American girl. Yeah. Sorry. Don't copyright strike me, please.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, the question is, where is she getting this sort of idealization of American lifestyle?
Captain America.
Yeah, would she know that from Sokovia?
Because she's even like with the twins. She's like, how about Tommy, a good American name?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, where is this coming from, Wanda? Why do you want to be American so badly?
Yeah, interesting. We were talking about the 90s a little earlier. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but that's just like what my notes are. I think, isn't Darcy Evans like confirmed to be in this or something like that?
Evans.
Like from Thor, the scientist assistant?
Oh, that's right.
Maybe, yeah. That makes sense because she's working with S.W.O.R.D, that makes sense.
Yeah, so you think she'll be like, in S.W.O.R.D? Do you think she'll infiltrate, or like how do you guys think she'll be worked in?
I mean, this could be wrong, but from the trailer, and then I've also seen this theory online, so I cannot take full credit for it, but I think she's the person behind the monitor from the first episode.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the person behind Mephisto. I was like, what?
No.
Darcy is Mephisto.
You have the hand turning the monitor off at the remote.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then in the trailer, it looks like she's in front of a screen in like the 2 frames that she's actually in the trailer. But possibly, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it would make sense because she's already studied with Jane. She's gone through the whole thing with Einstein, Rosen, Bridges. So and with Thor 2, sadly, with how that film went. But
we don't speak of Thor 2.
There's more understanding of how they view space time, right? So I feel like she might not be like the head, but she's like definitely an expert in the field when it comes to observing things that are anomalous in space-time and the fabrics of reality, right? So it would make sense to have her be the observer here.
Yeah, because she witnessed all that stuff with Reality Stone.
Probably Natalie Portman was too expensive.
No, she's off with Thor right now, or getting ready for that.
Oh yeah, she's getting ready to be
Thor 4. They're filming that. A bunch of Guardians of the Galaxy like actors have been spotted in Australia.
Oh no, yeah, no, Chris Evans or God, there's so many Chris's in the Marvel.
Too many. One of the Chris's.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Star-Lord
is confirmed as being a cast member as part of Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I also saw that Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother, the guy that plays like the.
He stands in for Rocket, and he also plays I always forget his name, but the new captain of the Avengers.
He's also just arrived there, I heard.
Nice.
I still think that's hilarious. He's the stand-in for Rocket because you see.
I know.
You just see him in a motion tracker suit.
Yeah.
Doing stand-in work like that must be crazy.
Yeah, Daniel.
And then you say all the lines, and then nothing that you do except for you're moving just makes it into the movie. I mean, that's still fine, but
that's still awesome. But it's just like crazy to think about. Like, oh yeah, it's him there as this character, and then it's also technically him there as a little raccoon guy.
I mean, and then you get such treasured moments in behind the scenes footage. Like, okay, this can take it a little off the rails, but you guys mentioned Corridor the other episode. Seen like the ones with Taylor Lautner from Twilight, where it's just Kirsten Dunst just petting him in a gray suit.
Yes, we just talked about that. Actually, we put out a video on our YouTube channel, highlight clips from our Ant-Man thing, and Daniel mentioned, he was like, "Who's the actor's name?" And he was like, "From Twilight." And I was like, "Batman." And then he was like, "No, the other one, the werewolf." And I put in that clip, the behind the scenes clip, like over top of that. of him getting petted.
Great. And then there's also the guy from I think it's Call of the Wild or whatever, the Harrison Ford film on Disney Plus.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Guy standing in for the CGI dog for the whole.
Dude, imagine getting petted by Harrison Ford.
Like little ear scratch, and then you're just like in this.
I could die happy if that happened.
That's so funny, but I love.
You just look up at him and say McClunky.
I mean, he'd probably kill you afterwards, but yeah.
I'm so happy McClunky made it into the Lego Star Wars Christmas special. Like that, I lost it when I heard that.
Dude, for me it was Obi-Wan's.
Oh yeah,
all saying hello there. That was it.
Oh man.
But yeah, we're kind of getting off track here.
Back to the tank.
But yes, back to WandaVision.
So I just want to talk about the aspect ratio change when Wanda's looking at the crib and then it transitions to Geraldine getting thrust outside.
Yes.
I got goosebumps on goosebumps. It was so freaking good. Like changing from the 4:3 to like the 16:9 or whatever it was. Like I lost it.
Yeah, like the bars on the side retreat and
the
top and the bottom come in, and it's just like, oh, that's so cool. It's like you're switching realities, and of course, they want to make note of that in any way they can. But it's done really well, and it's done.
It's like perfect timing
where you can tell as an audience member, oh, this is significant.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's another real just cool movie making thing that they do to enhance the story a lot better.
Yeah.
One thing I'm curious about is, we saw there's like this one really wide shot where you see like these, they kind of look like you know how football games you have like the lights all the way up the top and they're like shining it, but they look like they're like sending out waves,
like containing it or something,
containing it in a way. Yeah, exactly. So
maybe they're trying to like burst in, like trying to stress.
Well, that's the thing. I wonder if they're trying to get into it or if they're trying to contain it, because I don't know how stable this pocket reality is.
It could be growing or something.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh,
it could be growing.
Yeah, it's unsure, and this goes back to like, why is Wanda in there, and the whole thing with Geraldine like being an infiltrator, if that is the case, is like this facility studying Wanda or something, or is they're trying to get her out? Or
I think they're trying to get her out, but I don't know. I really like the theory that it could be growing and they're trying to contain it.
Ooh, yeah.
I think another possible theory though is that they're like sending waves in to try to like destabilize, like, you know, in Endgame when they had that force field, and once like only like one of the like rabid dog things, the force field around
Wakanda.
Yeah, Wakanda. I thought it was Wakanda. I couldn't.
That's not.
I was like, that's too close to Wanda. That can't be it. I was like, no. But so the force field around Wakanda, like once a bunch of the creatures were like kind of pushing up against it, it kind of like maybe like destabilized it a little bit enough for some of the like weakened it so that they could get in. Maybe they're trying to like weaken it so that in one spot they can like do one strike and like get in or something.
That is true, because we did see the bee dude and Geraldine had to get in somehow.
They did get in. I'm wondering if like after he got in, like Wanda like beefed up the defenses, like I can't let this happen again, like something like that.
I mean, that's a good theory, I think. But like Wakanda's was technology, was it not? And this is like magic shit that we still have yet to explain.
Maybe they're just trying to apply the same thing, but I just don't know.
Like they haven't tried to explain Wanda's powers through science, really.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're using any quantum technology.
Have they? If I'm not familiar with that explanation, if they have.
I'm thinking about like Ant-Man, like getting into like the.
They shrink between the force field.
Okay. Well, not like shrinking between it, but like using like in Ant-Man, they talk about how the quantum realm can be like gateway to like other realities, right? Like we saw that kind of in Endgame, but that was more time travel based and like other reality based.
Yeah.
It would make sense still though to use that kind of science to try to be like a first attempt or a way to finagle your way into this reality, like they did with Hive Guy and this
Hive Guy Swarm.
Well, we don't know if he's Swarm. I don't want to call him.
I'm calling him Swarm.
I don't want him to be Swarm.
Swarm 0.5 for now.
Let's call him Shawarma.
No,
who were you guys referring to as Swarm?
The guy, the beekeeper from the first episode.
Oh, okay.
Or second episode or whatever.
Is it like an actual character? I'm not too familiar with this.
Swarm is a Spider-Man villain. Like, that's made up entirely of bees.
Wait, no, I do know him. Oh, God. Yeah, okay. I remember Swarm.
Yeah.
He could also be Barry B. Benson, mutated.
Oh, my God. In episode 4, Jerry Seinfeld shows up.
Yeah, what if they start bringing in like celebrities from like each
Like sitcoms for the 80s episode.
Yeah, they are getting better deepfakes. Like you were talking about Corridor. Corridor just posted that video about their Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
that was really cool.
Sick. Yeah.
But like maybe they're gonna deepfake like someone, I don't know, deepfake Michael Jackson in the next decade. Or something.
God,
that's probably not a good idea. Let's move on. So,
oh no,
next episode is the 80s. Like we were saying, they'll probably have the kids. I think maybe part of it is like them discovering their powers, potentially taking care of kids with superpowers. It might honestly kind of like mimic the Incredibles a little bit, like some of those things.
Yeah.
True.
I don't know. I like the Incredibles, so I'd kind of be down for that.
I mean, it would follow the same formula they've been doing, where it's just like, oh, it's a normal family, but with a wacky, wacky part of it, wacky introduction,
yeah,
a wacky spin, and it's like, oh no, kids with superpowers, and we thought kids were a handful type thing. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what they've been doing. It's like a robot and a witch. What's that like?
I think Vision's just gonna get more and more skeptical each episode, and then he's before it like becomes too much, and Wanda can't keep like rewinding.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Like, there's supposed to be what, like 9 episodes this season?
Yeah. And
next episode would be episode 4. So we're getting close to like the halfway point to where I feel like there needs to be like there's gonna be like a shift, or you're gonna really hit that punch. Either Vision realizes. I think it's going to be the next 2 episodes where things really start to go off the walls with how reality starts, like real reality starts messing with this pocket reality here.
Okay,
that's what I've been wondering: is how long are they going to stick with like going through the decades, and when are they going to just go into like, this is WandaVision, this is what the show like actually is behind all of the aesthetic stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to explore that for multiple episodes, or if they're just going to wait for the final episode.
Just like the last episode.
Head it home, do like a good season 1 cliffhanger.
You think there'll be more seasons?
I don't know. Do you guys think this is going to be like a miniseries, or is it going to continue?
I think it depends on if our theory works. Like if she breaks up the multiverse, because I think it leads into Multiverse of Madness. I think, unless like the season 2 is like a flashback and they like go even earlier or something. I don't know. There weren't really there wasn't really television before like the 50s really. So like I don't know.
When is Multiverse of Madness supposed to come out?
I don't know.
Is this supposed to be like next year?
Like, okay, it's 2022 is when that's supposed to come out. So potentially. You know what? Yeah, you're right. I was thinking maybe they could get a second season in before next year, but that doesn't seem likely.
Yeah.
So maybe it will just be a one-off season. I'm not opposed to that either.
Yeah, I don't like when television like overextends it and tries to milk too much out of it. I'm not saying that this would, but like I kind of like you set a number of episodes and then like you stick with it, like with Mandalorian and like what Kenobi's gonna do and stuff like that.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
We talked for like a second about the twins being taken. I think it'd be really interesting if maybe what if Mephisto or not Mephisto, is it Mephisto?
The Stork.
The Stork. Yes, we'll refer to him as the Stork. In this one. If the Stork or whoever's behind whatever's going on, whether it's Wanda herself, perhaps are trying to get the kids, and that's why they made this whole reality or made Wanda make it. That doesn't make sense.
Oh.
But perhaps like they set up Wanda to be like, hey, wouldn't it be great if Vision was back and you had kids and everything? And maybe they did all that.
They're trying to like get the kids and their powers and stuff. It's like Syndrome. It is the Incredibles. He steals the kid at the end. Oh my gosh.
Incredible. No. Wait, we already did this with Iron Man 3.
I know, I was just about to say that.
Can't do 2 Incredibles rip-offs. No.
This is the Incredibles 2 rip-off.
No, just going back to like thinking about like Wanda and Pietro were both kind of imprisoned and used for their powers. What if someone's trying to do the same thing with their kids?
It's parallels. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Don't you dare quote George Lucas in front of me. That quote.
But no, I agree. I actually brought it up last time when Jake and I were talking about this, where I think Wanda made a deal with Mephisto to get like Vision back and to like set up this reality in a way.
Yeah, what does Mephisto get out of this? That could be a good motive for Mephisto.
Yeah.
So ripping off from Stiltskin, not Incredibles.
Well, that's how he works. In the comics, he makes deals.
Yeah. I mean, he's basically the devil. So Well, from what I know about him, but it's just so like, I'll give you what you want, but you gotta give me your firstborn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Do you guys want to talk about anything else? Last minute WandaVision thing.
Yes.
We've been talking for a while.
Yes, there's actually something I learned. What's her name? Agatha, whatever.
Agnes.
Agnes.
Yeah.
My brain like flatted out for a second.
The Stork's wife.
The Stork's wife.
She was actually the voice actress for Doc Ock in Spider-Verse. I didn't know that.
In Spider-Verse? Are you serious?
Yeah, I was like, her
That's
voice
so
sounds
cool.
so familiar. Why did I... And I was just watching some YouTube, and I was like, oh man, that's why.
The multiverse is so connected. / Hollywood doesn't have as many actors as Marvel needs.
Catherine Hahn is her name.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, she plays Liv, and it's really kind of cool because I didn't know that either until recently. So it's kind of cool to go back and be like, of course that's Catherine Hahn.
Yeah.
Because it sounds so much like her. And she's not like disguising her voice or anything. She's just, saying the lines.
Yeah. It's also interesting just to see how she's playing both these characters. I mean, Doc Ock, she played a lot differently. And you can... Oh, no, it's different from an animation perspective, right? Because it's like she's not doing like the acting per se, but she's acting with her voice, right? Which is actually a very hard thing to do.
Well, it's a lot of animation, like people, they record the actors when they're doing the voiceover, and then they take reference from that to do that.
To then put it into the animation. Yeah.
That's been a thing since traditional 2D in like the 80s and since they got like recognizable voice actors. Like I remember the person who animated Mushu for Mulan kept talking about like, oh yeah, I always watched Eddie Murphy recording because then I had a better idea of how to animate it based on what Eddie Murphy was doing. So it's not just the voice, like a lot of their physicality does get put into the animated performance in terms of animated films and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just unique to see like her play like a straight up evil person like that compared to like this. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that Agus is not mysterious or evil.
Agus and the Stork. That's its own sitcom.
Yeah, that's the sequel to WandaVision that we need.
That's season 2.
Oh my gosh,
it's just unique to see the difference. That's all I really wanted to say there. So yeah.
All right. Well, we've been talking a lot. Before we go, I wanted to shout out Sam. You do a bunch of amazing stuff with art. Would you like to shout out your Instagram?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm mainly in a 2D animator, and I do a bunch of just drawings and design stuff on my Instagram. That's @sdavy_art. And yeah, that's literally all I have to promote.
Yeah, that'll be in the description. You should seriously check it out. I don't often like promoting things that I don't like, so I don't do that. I promote what I do like. Sorry, that was a weird way of saying that I like what you do.
Oh, thanks, man.
I saw your 2D reel yesterday, and it was really good. So definitely check that stuff out. Daniel's also a fellow art person, does a lot of 3D stuff.
Yeah, I just made some hands for VR.
Yeah, Daniel's working on making a VR game.
Dude,
so check that out.
It was really cool finally being able to see the hands.
As well, Daniel's stuff is always in the description. Yeah. All right. Well, Sam, thank you so much for joining us. You brought a lot of great insight stuff, and we really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. It was super fun to just talk about something that I enjoy with other people who enjoy it.
Yeah, no problemo. Wow, that was fantastic, Daniel. We're back here, just you and me. How you doing after the podcast?
I am still very liquid, drinking out of my mug.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. All right. So let's do some patron shout-outs really quick. Cue the epic start music. Boosh. We got patron Lori, Rick, Frank, Evan, Tony. Thank you so much for pledging the tier. Thank you to the shout out. If you want to support us over on Patreon, you can. Links are down in the description. You get episodes early, lots of special perks, all that jazz. Also, please follow our social medias. They are also linked in the description. Again, check out Sam. He does some really awesome work. Same with Daniel. He's doing some really cool VR stuff. Check that out. Also, I haven't plugged this in a while, but we still have that Audible link. You get a free trial and 2 free audiobooks. On our Patreon, we also have suggested books that you could use that are filmmaking stuff. So definitely check that out. It is literally no cost to you, and it helps support the show. We'd really appreciate it, and you get some free books out of it. Yeah, leave a review and we'll read it. Thank you. Daniel, ready for the outro?
Yes, we just talked about whatever we want to talk about, and now we're done. Blank.
Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Really, really, really appreciate it. Take care. Hope you're staying safe, enjoying 2021. As we said last time, not as you said. We can't hear you. This is a podcast. This is a one-way street, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
All right, Daniel's done. Goodbye.